Hey, 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 hey. How are you? We're back. Welcome to Bojoul Videos and our channel that's full of just self-care, wellness, and just being the best you that you can possibly be. I am here today to talk to you about the importance of self-expression and individuality. Self-care is not just bubble baths and spas, right? I want to be clear on when we say self-care, we are speaking holistically, not just what you see on the media and what you have this perceived notion or this shared notion of what self-care is. We want to speak to you. When we at Bojoul speak about self-care, we're speaking the entire being. And today, I'm speaking about the importance of self-expression and individuality. We live in a world of copycat mentality, right? Where monkey see, monkey do. But if monkey is seeing and monkey is doing, what is happening to your individual gifts, your individual self-expression, and your individuality that no one else have but you? So today I'm gonna speak on a deeper level of self-care as it pertains to your self-expression and your individuality. The first thing I want to talk about is that when you're in your full self, that is authenticity. And authenticity breeds connection. Connection not just with yourself, but with others, with family, with friends, with society. And when we express ourselves authentically, we attract individuals who appreciate and understand us for who we truly are. And I will say, authenticity has a way of filtering people around you. Either they love you or they hate you. And either way, it really doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, self-care is about you being your most authentic self, being able to share and express your views, your opinions. And here's the thing. We don't all have to agree. I don't know where that came from or why that's such a dominant theme in our culture. Like, you have to agree with me. No, I really don't have to agree with you. I respect your viewpoint as you can respect my viewpoint. You may not understand. What I say often is that we all come and we're all seeing the world differently through different lenses. So the way I respond to things and the way I see things is going to be completely different from you, and it doesn't mean that you're wrong or that I'm wrong or I'm right or you're right. We have to learn how to live harmoniously and allow others to live in their authenticity as well as ourselves. And so self-care has to be about you being your authentic self. A lot of people may not like who you really are, but it's okay. It's better than being trapped in a body for who knows how many years and living somebody else's truth. What are we doing? That is not self-care. That is self-deprivation, and that is not fair to you or to the world. Next, in terms of our self-care and the importance of self-expression and individuality, is that it allows us to grow personally and to discover ourselves. Don't you know that like discovery, have you figured it out yet? But self-discovery is a lifelong pursuit. It's not a thing of, okay, I know who I am and that's it. No, you know why? Because we're always evolving, we're always changing. And so the person that you knew and that you understood a year ago may be completely different from who you are today. And what I do, and here's the thing, this is what I gather. We go through different things, right? We go through different tragedies. We go through different celebrations, and we go through different growth things in our life that stretch us out of our comfort zone. Those things change us. I remember when I got very, very sick back in 2019 or 2018, one of them. Anyway, I was very sick, and I was sick for a while. And going through that process and just going through that, and compared to the person who I am now, that provided a place of growth for me. One, in that my appreciation for my life, my appreciation for my friends and my family, it changed how I see the world. So just like in that instance, that example I was giving you, we all are going through things every single day. And it shapes us. So the person that you know and you understand, like I said, a year ago or 2 years ago, you are not the same person. I pray that you're getting better, but I can assure you that you're not the same person. So being able to be your individual self and to express yourself as you are, it provides that opportunity for personal growth and self-discovery. It's always different things about yourself that you should embark upon knowing and learning. You want to learn. You should want to learn more. And as you allow yourself or challenge yourself, if that's an issue, to be full in your expression and to allow yourself to grow through being uniquely who you are and not making any apologies about it. Next, being your individual self and being full on your self-expression, it breaks down barriers and it inspires change. When you are a person that's authentic, and I can honestly agree with this, right? When you're around somebody who's authentic and who they are, and they don't have no problem expressing themselves and being their unique, distinct person, it kind of liberates you. If you're not annoyed first, at some point it liberates you because they're kind of setting the precedence of how you yourself can be, if that's what you so choose to do. Listen, if we're on this world for however long, I want to be free to be who I am. Otherwise, it's like a jail sentence. It's like you're trapped in a body that you have to perform. It's like a stage show. You have to perform in a way that you think that other people want you to perform, and it can be exhausting. It can lead to depression. It can lead to anxiety. It can lead to insomnia. It can lead to sickness in your body. Anytime you're not expressing who you really are, it is detrimental to your whole entire being. So as this relates to self-care, right? You being your authentic self, you're breaking down barriers in yourself and in others. And it inspires others to change, as well as you step out on this new territory or on these uncharted waters. You're stepping out in these areas, right? You're stepping out in these areas where you're able to be, right? To be who you are. All of us have work to do on ourselves. But I'll be doggone if I'm going to be trapped in this body for my stay on this earth and have to be something that I'm not. I will share this. Let me take a sip of my tea, turmeric and honey tea. I'm going to share this, right? So I grew up in a very religious home, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful to have grown up in a religious household where I understood at a very young age that there's something greater than myself. You know what I mean? And I had a rigorous schedule. I had to go to, my religion, I was a Jehovah's Witness. And I had rigorous schedules. I had to go to meetings all week, and I had to go out from door to door on the weekends and sometimes even during the week. And anyway, that was my lifestyle. That's how I grew up. You know, that's all you know. That's all you know. Anywho, I say this all the time. My mom used to always share with me, don't ever be a hypocrite. She used to always say, don't be a hypocrite, no matter what you do. And everything I did, when I went to school and different things would happen, my mother would always implore me, listen, just be true to yourself and do not be a hypocrite. So as I got older, I realized that being in that religious environment was not conducive to my growth. And I realized that at a very, very, very young age, but I wanted to make my mom happy. I love my mother. And I wanted to make her happy. So I stayed in that environment for years until I couldn't. Because I realized that I was doing myself a disservice. And I was also doing the world a disservice. Because I was being what somebody else wanted me to be, and somebody dictated over my life what I should be. It completely muted out the voice of God that was leading me into different directions. And I say that to say that was for me in my religious background, but it happens in all different settings. It can be that way in a family setting. It can be that way in an employment setting. It can be that way in a relational setting. You have to be who you are. And if you feel like you have to walk on eggshells, that is not self-care. See, we're taking self-care to another level. It's not just, I got to put the cucumbers on my eyes. I got to take a bath. And that is self-care. That is. But that's not it. It's different layers. We go deep into this self-care. We go into mental health with this self-care. It's all encompassing. But for the sake of this conversation, being your full self. And here's the thing. It took a lot of courage for me to step away from that religious environment and disappoint my mom because that's what she wanted me to do. However, I have to live in this body. I have to live in this world, and I have to answer to God. And He's the one who directs my path. Once I understood that He directs my path. Wherever He lead, I'm gonna follow. And sometimes that means I gotta come away from this and that and the third. And like I said, it took a lot of courage. It still takes courage. My mom and my relationship is better, but it still have not recuperated from that. And it's been years. However, I'm able to live in this world, and I'm able to live in this body being true to who I am. And it inspires change in not just myself, but in others. And it breaks down those barriers that people hold up and say, listen, this is how you have to be. You have to be like this. But everything in you say, no, that's not who I am. But we keep trying to fit and make it, and then you're miserable. I'll be a monkey's uncle if I got to live in this world and be miserable. No Kendall. No bueno. Next, being your individual self and being full on your self-expression, it plays a major, crucial role on your emotional well-being and your mental health. It really, really does. Your emotional well-being and your mental health is a real thing. It is so real. And I see and I hear about different stories like, oh, somebody snapped and somebody went bananas and this, and that, or whatever. And I've always been under the belief that we all are just a ham sandwich away from maybe being cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. We all can snap. We all can go from that place of sanity to not so sane. And for me, I believe that it's a place of, I know that if I'm fighting against the grain of everything within me, that's going to challenge my emotional and my mental health. It's going to challenge me. It's like you got to keep this balance going because you're fighting. It's like this internal struggle. It's a war within you simply to exist. And when you're warring all the time inside, you cannot have peace. You cannot have peace when you're warring. And that war is simply because I can't express myself. I cannot be who I am. I can't say the things I need to say. I cannot express my opinions, my ideas, my thoughts. Not to say that everything you say and everything you do is going to be right, but it's not about right or wrong. It's just the ability to be able to express. It's like a lot of us are emotionally and mentally constipated. That's the word. And you know what happens when you're constipated, right? When you walk around and you're constipated, you're hurting. You're miserable. Your food don't go down well. Everything is just off. You can't sleep good. You're tossing and turning. You backed up. A lot of us are like that emotionally and mentally because we have not lived in this place of self-expression and individuality. And that is detrimental to your self-care. That is not self-care. I don't care how many bubble baths and I don't care how many spa treatments you go to. When you're not living in your truth and you're not full in your self-expression, you are being counterproductive to your self-care. That's a thing. That is a fact. That is something I had to learn. And I learn more and more every single day. The last thing I want to share with you in terms of self-expression and individuality is that it encourages innovation and diversity. So when you're celebrating your freeness to express yourself, right? You're able to express your ideas and your perspectives and all the different things that you are doing, right? That creates space for you to allow other people to do the same thing. When you are around a person who they can only blurt out their feelings and their perspectives and their ideas, and they don't have room for you to do the same, that's imbalance and that's disharmonious, right? And when you live in your full self-expression and your individuality, you are creating space. It creates space because if I'm able to release myself, then I have room for other people to release themselves, right? Being diverse, being inclusive is very, very, very important. And I hear about it more and more today, and I'm grateful. Because guess what? We are all not the same. We're not the same. We fight about race. We fight about gender. We fight about sexuality. We fight about educational status. We just fight. We are a society that fights, and we've always done it since the beginning of time. But I believe that we can take our little space that we're in and we can make it inclusive and diverse, where we accept. Whether I agree is not the point. I don't have to agree. I don't have to understand. I don't have to. What I do in this world and what I do in this life, I have to answer to God for everything that I do, and so does everybody else. That's it. But me being able to welcome other perspectives, other ideas, because here's the thing, and this is what I used to challenge my religious background on. When I grew up, it was always taught to me that do not accept other people's beliefs. Do not even learn about other people's belief. Do not don't go researching anybody else's information other than what we have here. And I always questioned that. I question it because guess what? The truth is always going to outperform a lie every day, all day, any time of the week. And so that doctrine or that protocol that they wanted all of us to follow, it made me more curious. And it made me do research, and it made me look in other arenas and other areas and other textbooks, because I do understand that the truth is always going to outperform a lie. The Bible says that the truth is going to set you free. It sets you free. Your individuality, your uniqueness, that's your truth. Your self-expression, that's your truth. It sets you free from within. You're free to roam the country. You're free to experience this world. And as it pertains to self-care, just understand, right, that self-care runs deep. We got to take care of ourselves on this area of just being free to be who we are and saying the things that we need to say, and not only saying the things that we need to say, but allowing space for other people to say what they need to say without taking offense, without being holding grudges because that person expressed something that we may not agree with. A lot of things people say I don't agree, and I am so sure that it's many things I say that people don't agree with, and it's okay, you ain't gotta agree. But inclusivity and diversity is like an open space, because at the end of the day, the truth always outperforms a lie. It's always it's like cream, baby. It rises to the top every time. I just want to thank you so much for listening today. I'm so grateful to have had this time to share with you. Please subscribe, leave a comment, like. If you're listening to us on YouTube or if you're listening to us on our podcast, just follow us and just continue tuning in, because our space, this Bojoul space, we're opening up. It's inclusive. We welcome you. Whoever, however, whatever, come in. As long as you come in respectfully, as long as you come in just honoring what we're doing here in terms of creating this growth, a space of growth and empowerment for you to be who you want to be. And I will just say that no matter what you do, no matter where you go, just understand that self-care is the best care. Later.